Hello, everyone, and welcome to the biggest culinary event for young chefs from all over the world, the Young Chef Olympiad. YCO 2021 is the seventh edition and is made even more unique by the fact that it is virtual, and we are going to take a peek in more than 100 kitchens globally. Today, I have with me Payal Kapoor. Welcome, Payal.
Thank you so much. Hi, Anju. Thank you for having me here. It's a wonderful
Absolute
feeling.
pleasure. Let me introduce you. Payal Kapoor is a motivational speaker and disability and inclusion evangelist. A hotelier by education, her love for the industry has never diminished. Left totally blind and partially hearing impaired due to a cerebral attack at the age of 22, Payal has not allowed her disability to stop her from living her life to the fullest. A TEDx speaker, Payal has used her experiences with disability to teach and motivate many. A voracious reader, Payal writes narratives on disability and gender on her blog, Payal Ki Jhankar, and many other online publications. When not working, Payal travels, experiments in the kitchen, and teaches blind and visually impaired the basic and finer aspects of working in the kitchen through her podcast and YouTube channel, Rasoi Ke Rahsaya. Hi, Payal. Delighted to have you here with me virtually and
Wonderful again.
reaching out to more than 100 viewers, young chefs from around the world. I'm sure they are all curious to know how you have embraced so many changes in your life.
Hi, Anju. Once again, I'd like to say hi to everyone out there. When it comes to embracing changes, it was never easy because I'm one person who's really bad at changes. And maybe somehow that's the reason why the universe keeps throwing millions of new things and changes at me. So I think eventually what happens is that at some point you realize in your life that change is the only thing that is constant. It happens to all of us in various ways. What one needs is a support system. So I was very, very fortunate in a fantastic support system in my family, friends, and every step of the way, wherever I went, whether it was in the world of the sighted people, which became, something different to me altogether after I lost my eyesight, or whether it was being welcomed into the community of blind people, it was always there. I was really welcomed with open arms and given a whole lot of support. Another thing that we don't realize is the fact that in our own selves, we are extremely resilient. We have a human spirit that rises above all. And
So
I
true.
think that is what helps you to finally dig into that strength. The changes and all these things life throws at you helps you to dig into that strength and work with it. I think that's truly what I did with myself.
Good for you. So proud of you, Payal. Payal, I'm going to go straight to your amazing YouTube channel and the podcast, Rasoi Ke Rahsaya. Before you tell us more about Rasoi Ke Rahsaya, can you explain the meaning? Because we have many international students here and it is a Hindi title. And then tell us about Rasoi Ke Rahsaya.
Gladly. This is, I think, my biggest driving passion today. Rasoi Ke Rahsaya is the word. The Rasoi Ke Rahsaya basically means Rasoi in Hindi. It's a Hindi term, and Rasoi means the kitchen,
Right.
and Rahsaya is the secret. So I'm essentially unveiling and unwrapping the secrets of a kitchen.
Wow.
So this particular thing is actually quite new. It is as of, we started this in April 2020, sitting in the midst of the most unprecedented situation, the pandemic. we were a whole very large community of blind and visually impaired people who usually have support in their kitchens or people to help them, or some of them eat out since there's such a large workforce out there. Suddenly, with the lockdown, everybody got stuck in the places wherever they were at, whether it was their homes, whether it was, away from home and wherever, whatever accommodations they had taken.
Right.
So suddenly they were left high and dry with absolutely no idea of what to do with themselves. So I found myself in the middle of a whole lot of activity with webinars and things like that, because I've been teaching blind people how to cook for many, many years. I think that's the one takeaway from my hotel management days when I was a student 31 years ago. I was probably meant to do only this, to ultimately teach blind people how to cook and, impart the knowledge that I had gained in my education.
Amazing.
And with this, and then suddenly this whole thing came up that, this was such important information and we didn't want to lose this information. So a bunch of volunteers, two other blind people got together with me and said that they wanted to archive this entire thing. And we started uploading these audio tutorials on YouTube. And there was Rasoi Ke Rahsaya that was born. So in this, what we're essentially doing, what I have done is there are extensive audio tutorials on various aspects. Now, everybody cooks. Blind people, you have some fabulous blind cooks. I cook, many like myself cook. But what happens?
In fact, we have the Golden Eye Chef competition.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Only for blind chefs.
Absolutely. So we have very, very accomplished and talented chefs. But what happens is for a lot of new cooks, or even cooks that have been around in their kitchens for a while, the basics, the orientation to the kitchen and to everything that they're using, from raw materials to the gadgets, was something that wasn't very clear, which is where I stepped in and started this whole extensive explanation of how they could do things, from picking their vegetables to glossaries of spices and pulses and grain and things like that, both in Hindi and English, because we were shopping online, remember, at that point in time. So you have names in English of vegetables and spices that a blind person, an average, not just a blind person, any average householder might not know. So this entire thing was created, and we are already, we have one series of simply orientation already up there. And now we are putting it onto podcast with the same name on Anchor.
What about safety for a blind person?
Yes, that's the first aspect we deal with, the orientation.
Give us an example. What are the things that you
It's a matter of unlearning and relearning, like what I did. When I learned, it was extremely difficult. It depends so much on your sight for everything. Then suddenly it's gone. And the first thing that when anyone at home, like my mother, was petrified of me going anywhere close to a knife or going anywhere close to fire. But you adapt and you learn. That's the most important aspect, the safety. So you just make yourself comfortable and learn in the correct manner how you need to go about doing things. And safety is paramount, of course.
Yeah, and cooking is not just about seeing, no? It's about hearing if the food is sizzled enough, and it's about the smell. Isn't that how we also, even sighted people, come to know if a dish is?
So true, so true. That's truly what it is. I think a whole lot of chefs here would agree that, a lot of what they do doesn't simply, of course, eye appeal is extremely important, but if the smell is not right, or if if there's an ingredient that has probably gone old or bad or whatever, the first thing they know is with their smell. They might not be able to tell with their eyes. So yes, everybody is using their, other senses. But for us, those senses become primary because those are the residual senses we use. So that's Rasoi Ke Rahsaya, and I'm hoping that we will get support. So far, it's an entirely voluntary effort. The second season is going to begin soon with methods of cooking. And I'm hoping that at some point down the line, the food industry will support this endeavor, because this is something that hasn't been done so far. I don't think anybody has any of this available. So yes, I'm hopeful and looking forward to support from the industry.
And I'm sure you will get it. I mean, it's amazing. But that brings me to the key question, which I didn't ask you even in our conversations. What is your signature dish?
Well, my signature dish is I love baking, and I'm extremely excited when it comes to baking. It's very therapeutic. So I have this one go-to thing that I do, one go-to recipe of mine that is basically a chocolate banana bread, which every time I'm down or every time I think I need to do something happy for somebody, that's my go-to thing. And it has never failed me so far. So.
Oh, wonderful. And one Indian dish?
Indian dish. I've heard my rajma. I'm a Punjabi, so I can't go far, far away from a rajma and a chole. I hear my rajma is an absolute hit because whenever I've cooked it for friends, they always come back and take the recipe from me. So yes.
And that is the reason why I was asking, because even I've heard about your rajma.
So I think next time we meet, it would be a rajma chawal and a banana cake recipe.
And we will top it with banana cake. Absolutely. Yeah. Payal, I want to know how have rather hotel management practices or teaching a course changed from your time? You just said you did it 21 years ago.
31 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, I think from what I've seen, for one, our basic practices have changed, methods of cooking and things like that. There are a whole lot of changes that I see. Well, the basics still remain the same. Everybody goes through the grind, learning the same things. The facilities have changed. Facilities have become way better in terms of, the institutions itself that are around. And there is a lot more possibility of doing things hands-on, although our course was hands-on as well. But there was a lot of times that we had to just, stop and look while the teacher or the lecturer showed us things. I've also noticed that there are some subjects like fire safety and first aid and CPR, which is something that I do as well. I'm a trainer. So a certified trainer. So I've gone to the IHM in Hyderabad to teach them about this. So they're taking a lot of things seriously. I remember for us, it used to just be a subject. We didn't even have fire safety, we did, but not CPR and first aid. So there are those kind of things. I think this is also because a lot of things have changed in the operations itself outside with a lot more boutique and, budget hotels. True. There's a lot of multitasking that happens. You have the person sitting at the front desk, acting as the front desk as a receptionist. He's the cashier. He's also a room service order taker. He's also a housekeeping desk operator. So a whole lot of multitasking is happening because I think we don't have the time or the energy to sort of, delegate. Bigger hotels, I'm sure, are still doing the same things as in one person. I remember when I used to work at a 5-star hotel, we only had to answer our phone. If the cashier's phone was ringing, it would just continue ringing because it wasn't for us to answer. So those things don't happen. So I think the teaching is changing in conjunction to a whole lot.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the roles are becoming more versatile. I see that in our students in IHM, it's become imperative, and they are rising to it. It's such a vibrant industry,
Absolutely.
the hotel industry, that hospitality industry. In fact.
Totally.
Yeah, I would agree. So, Payal, thank you so much. But before we close today's session, what is that one mantra you would like to give to the students as they march on, our young chefs and our hotel management students as they march on in life?
I think first I'd like to, wish them the best on this journey. And I think they're the future, truly, of the food industry, and enthusiastic, wonderful individuals. I wish them the best. I always have this, I've realized over a period of time that the original Superman, why he was Superman, I think I know now. Christopher Reeve had a very, very beautiful thing that he had said. He said, I quote him, he said, sometimes in our life, a lot of our dreams first seem impossible. Then they seem improbable. And then when we summon the will, they soon become inevitable. So that is truly, truly the mantra everybody needs to live by. I'd like to wish all of the young chefs and everyone else present here a life of inevitable dreams and wonderful, wonderful, journeys ahead. I have to take a moment to thank, IHM Kolkata for this wonderful event. It's amazing to see that they've connected virtually so many countries and so many young chefs, professionals on this one virtual platform. I think it's a dream come true for a whole lot of people in this, time of a pandemic.
Isn't it an amazing feat?
It is totally. And that too, to be able to sit in, I was reading about it on their website. It's amazing to see the organization that is going into this whole thing. So kudos and congratulations once again.
Yes, thank you so much, Payal. It was wonderful to talk to you. And yes, our Rajma promise stays. And I am going to also log in to Rasoi Ke Rahsaya and see if you have tips for me.
Thank you, Anju. Thanks so much. It's been wonderful speaking with you as well. Wonderful. And yes, we have a date, definitely.
Yes, thank you so much, Payal.
Thanks again.